Hello everyone, and welcome back to Qmenera, an Experience Points podcast. We're an all-queer cast Numenera podcast. I'm Kenny, the cast member who plays the lovable and simple lad Hillian. If you love our show, we hope you'll rate us and review us on iTunes or wherever you consume your podcasts. Every review makes Kelric, the GM and producer's eyes, sparkle, and helps new listeners to find us. We don't pay to advertise any of the podcasts on the Experience Points network, so we hope you'll recommend us to your friends and just about anyone. Did you know that we had a Patreon? We are grateful to everyone who's already become a patron. You keep our mics on and our dice rolling. We've got some great rewards, so check them out at patreon.com/experiencepoints.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Qmenera. I am Kelric, my pronouns are he, him, and this is my wonderful all-queer cast. Please introduce yourself, starting with Jess.
Hi, I'm Jess. My pronouns are she, her, and I play Tiyune, a mechanical nano who rides the lightning, and her pronouns are also she, her.
Hi, my name is Aaron. My pronouns are they, them, and I play Railu, a graceful glaive who speaks with a silver tongue, and they also use they, them pronouns.
Hi, my name is Kenny. My pronouns are he, they, and I play Hillian Jossa, oh my gosh, it's right in front of me, an earnest Jack who howls at the moon. I went blink and I'm like, who am I playing? Who am I today?
I believe today that our own Kenny/Hillian will be doing the recap, so why don't you just take it away?
So after we left at Dreaded One, we went camping with this guy that we found on the side of the road. He makes the best food ever. He left me some mushrooms after a night, and he ended up taking the big new Numenera device that Tiyune had. I don't think she liked that. Though she did seem kind of relieved that it was gone and rushed us along. I don't understand why we had to move so quickly, but we did. And so we moved down the road a bit, and then I had some bad dreams, and it got dark, and the moon is full. You know, it's getting there at least, and I'm hungry. I'm very, very hungry. We're almost to Ephremon, and yeah, I think Railu was gonna head out. I'm not too sure. Things are getting kind of confusing.
Nicely done. And don't worry, I'm sure that Ephremon, being a city of 20,000 people, will have at least one three-tree restaurant somewhere. You know, they can just like, this deserves its 3 trees. So, yeah, we'll see.
Didn't want to go with the nut scale?
No.
3 acorns?
Don't. This is more of a eucalyptus wood. No. All right. So you all have traveled down the road. You had talked about splitting up and sending Railu into Ephremon to maybe scout things out, maybe send off a message. You know, totally split the party, which is always a great idea. It's worked so well. Leaving Tiyune and Hillian together to sort of deal with what may come. And as Railu was taking off, Railu was not surrounded, but in between Tiyune and Hillian and Railu, who was going on their way. A bunch of Seskies came through, and Railu was quick enough, I believe, to throw some food out, get them distracted, and then the 3 of you came together, and you stopped at a place around lunchtime, so it's about midday. You're half day away from Ephremon, and 2.5 days away from a Dreaded One village, and you are having a lovely picnic lunch in this danger-filled forest. Go.
All right, well, it sounds like we're all... What's the plan? I know I was planning on going ahead, but now you're all here. You all caught up. What do we want to do, Tiyune? You know what's happening next best.
Well, I don't want to get into the city before this is taken care of, because that could be very dangerous. So I think we just have to put off getting into Ephremon for a couple more days. How you feeling, Hillian?
I'm fine. It's fine. I'm hungry.
Yep. And Tiyune has just like a bunch of random snacks, and she's just gonna keep like, just try to keep Hillian's attention by, at random intervals being like, here's a snack.
The mom purse.
Yeah.
Okay. So, are you sticking together? Are you sending Railu in to scout and see if they can touch base with the Aeon priesthood representative that Hegprid told you about? What are you gonna, you plan on just staying outside of Ephremon, but what are you doing outside of Ephremon? How are you gonna deal with these dangers that just randomly pop up on the road? I mean, that's kind of a thing.
All right, well, we're close enough to the town, and we're about a day or two away before anything's going to happen. Do we all just want to go and see what this priesthood has going on and then just head back out into the forest?
I don't really feel comfortable the prospect of us getting trapped in the city when we need to be out in the open, but we do need to figure something out. So I guess it's worth going to check it out. Maybe we'll figure out a place that we can stay that would be safe for everyone.
I bet they have good food.
Yes, also they probably have great food.
Cool.
All right. Well, it sounds like we're going then, but we do have to keep track of the time and make sure that nothing delays us.
So, you travel down the road. It's a half day, and surprisingly, perhaps to you, considering every time you have been traveling, there is nothing that crosses your path as you get closer to the city. Either there are regular patrols or something to keep this area clear, but as you're getting closer to the city, there are fewer and fewer things, and you do not run into anything. Ephremon is a large city. It has about 20,000 people in it. It's pretty easy to start telling as you're about 2-3 hours away that this is a more cultivated space. And suddenly you break through the tree line and there's just this cleared area that looks like the equivalent of maybe 2 miles of just cleared space, and then there's a wall of trees in front of you that are gigantic. It's sort of like just these swinging doors that there's no portcullis. It's just 2 large cutouts in the trees that are doors that open inwards on the city. It looks like like a Juraskar could be ridden through it. That's how tall it is. They're big doors for some reason. And there are lots of guards. There's sort of like a small tent city in the front, which is just like a bunch of little merchants that have set up. It looks like it's just a bunch of carts that then can be pulled back into the city. And it's sort of like a farmer's market thing that's going on outside. You're about 2 miles away from it, but you can start as you keep going, you get closer, and that's kind of what you see. You see a bunch of brightly colored stalls with people walking around and, people calling out for, their merchandise. You smell some really awesome street fair food. And yeah, it just looks, it's the kind of thing that you would want to do on a weekend where you're just like, gonna go get me some coffee and maybe go see what's at the farmer's market to cook for dinner tonight. Wander around, get some of that, raw honey and, do whatever else artisanal stuff I can find. Ooh, are those candles? Were those made at home? Fancy. That kind of stuff. So what do you do?
As we're walking, Railu just looking at all these trees, and I know it's a bit of ways away, but as we approach, I'm gonna kind of start trying to figure out how to access before we get there, just trying to eyeball how to access the city, because I know that it's like made of risers and swings and all that. So I don't know if that's like immediately through the gate or if there's another way, but before we reach that, Railu's just going to be trying to scope out
if you look beyond the gates, do an intellect roll.
Right.
Let's see if you can perceive anything cool.
13.
Oh yeah, you can see that once you go in, there's actually just like a clear area that looks like a road that goes to the left and right, and probably 50, 60 feet in is where the tree, you can see the tree roots of the entry area where all this stuff starts, and the tree roots are roughly the size of 3-story house. And this is areas where there are ground level homes and businesses, but there are ladders that start going up the side of each tree. There are these different pulley system risers that go everywhere, and then the ladders are not static. Like, they sort of bend and sway with the motions of the wind in the trees, and then they, based on how they bend, they connect to different sort of like road walkways. And yeah, it's a really interesting build. Like, if you've never been comfortable with heights, this is going to be a problem for you. And if you are not particularly dexterous, it's going to be a little harder to get around in here. One of the things you notice with your 13 is that the people who are on the ground level by those homes that are in the tree roots tend to look like they're a little older. Like, they're a bunch of gray-haired, bald, whatever people who are just kind of walking around, but they seem to be a little slower. And so logically it could be that, dealing with all of that kind of movement is a little hard if you have arthritis or whatever. So maybe you start moving towards the ground level as you grow older.
So as soon as we enter the city, I think Hillian is hard to restrain. Like, he smells all the smells and, oh, that looks interesting. Oh, are those samples?
So are you saying sort of the farmer's market area, or just going past that into the city?
In the farmer's market.
Okay, so the farmer's market is just outside the gates.
Okay.
So, cool. You get there and the person is like, well, yes, those are samples. Would you like one?
Can I have more than one? As he's eating one.
Well, tell me what you think of that one. That is a new seasoning blend I've tried.
What are those hayseeds?
Yes.
Those are amazing.
Awesome. I'm so glad that you like it. So these are over here, and it's 1 shin for a bag this size, and 3 shins for the bag this size. But I'm glad you like that flavor. What about this one? And then they, as tends to happen in farmers markets, people are very excited about what they create, and they're just like, here, try this one, and then this. And so they're giving you very small samples of all of these different ones, and then they're talking about the prices for each of them.
Yeah, Hillian's trying all of the samples, and like is just holding on to, like, if they're like serving on a stick or like on a leaf, whatever they're serving it on. Hillian just like has it in his hands, and it's like, oh, this is great.
Okay. They're also, pushing them towards Tiyune and Railu to get your opinions on stuff, and talk to you about, this is the cost, and I import the seasoning from this other city that I can't remember. Right, Aaron, give me a city name in Numenera, quick.
Shalamas.
There you go. This spice comes all the way from Shalamas. Nobody else in Ephremon has it. No one. You cannot find this anywhere else. Why, it's a little more expensive. So for this size bag, it's 4 shins. But I think you can tell from the sample, it's totally worth it.
Tiyune, this is the best hayseed I've ever had.
Tiyune probably is not in the best mood at this point because she has kept her unbreakable scarf like tied around her waist and Hillian's waist so that Hillian can't get too far away from her. Mm-hmm. So every time Hillian is like running off, she's getting like jerked along after him. So she's probably like waving off all of the samples, and like every time Hillian turns to be like, this is so good, she's just like, great, I'm glad you're having a good time. We need to get into the city.
So the salesperson, seeing that you're basically the adult for this
Grown adventurer.
child. And hearing the excitement at that one particular one, turns to you and says, you know, they do seem to like this one enough that you might be able to persuade them to stay closer to you if you bought this back.
Wow, that's quite a sales tactic.
All I'm saying is I have two of my own.
And like Hillian will start like smelling in the air. Is that ham apple?
Time is limited is all I'm saying.
You have no idea how true that is.
So, would you like to buy some of these? I mean, 4 shins is fairly reasonable. I mean,
Oh, is it 4 shins? I thought there was a 1 shin bag.
there is a 1 shin bag for that other one. For this one, these are the spice from Shalamas. Shalamas? That's right? Did I say
Yeah,
it right?
that's how I said it.
I almost always get it wrong and call it Shalamon. So, Shalamas. And
It's Shalamas.
the smaller bag is going to be 2 shins. But they're really saying, this one seems very easily distracted. You will probably go through more, is all I'm saying. But I have them. It seems like they grab their attention really well. So, you know, I understand that you're in a hurry. If you would like to buy them, I have them here.
There's some pork bear over there.
Can we talk about this weird farmer's market that just has a bunch of meat fruit?
What? These first ones are nuts. Spice nuts. That's what we've got. Grab Hillian's attention.
Tiyune will just pay 1 shin for the 1 shin bag of spice.
Okay. And off you go. You now have some hopeful Hillian distraction snacks. We'll see how you go.
Can Railu have been off looking at
Yes.
some yes, some sort of cipher booth?
Sure. There is a cipher booth which has this really interesting setup because having too many ciphers together can lead to explosions. And so this particular tent is set up in a very interesting way where there are actual it's not metal. It kind of looks like a granite that instead of being like gray or whatever, it has these really vibrant colors where it looks like you took paint and put it in water and then swirled it around. So it's these really beautiful stone cubbies that all have doors on them that are clear and you can see through them, but they're obviously locked containers for each cipher. And so they only have 12 because if they have to haul these in and out every day, that's a lot of work. But they have 12 different cipher cubbies in this one stall, and they are all they're 3 tall, so there's 3 in each locker space, and then there's 1 and they're in each corner of the booth so that there's some distance between them. Does this make sense?
Yep, makes sense to me.
Okay, so there's someone, and they are sitting just very calmly in the center of this thing, not hawking their goods. They're like, it's obvious that this is a cipher stall, and they know that this is something that people will come and buy. They're in no hurry. It's like that artist who's like, yeah, I make enough of it anyway, so this is just a passion project for me.
Perfect. I walk up, and so they're just sitting on the ground because I'm assuming we're in a forest.
In the forest, but they have a chair. I mean, they have granite lockers. I think they can afford a chair.
I don't know what people live in trees, okay? I live in Portland. Everybody sits on the ground if they're going to be in the middle of trees. All right, so I walk up. Hello, how's your day going?
Oh, it's going quite well. How's your day going?
So far, so good. We actually are just coming into town and I saw your shop. I had to stop by.
Oh, well, I'm really glad you did. I've got lots of cool ciphers here, and, if there's something particular looking for, maybe I can help you out. What's your name, stranger?
I'm Railu, and yours?
It's Hamish. How are you, Railu?
It's been a day already, but that's never a bad thing.
Fair enough. What can I do for you?
So tell me, do you have an organizational system here? Are they segmented, or is it just more of a safety?
It's just a safety issue here. You tell me what you're looking for, and I'll let you know, which area it might be in.
I'm not looking for anything specific, just anything that could help me along the road. I'm a traveler, and so anything that could provide safety of some sorts. Numenera, they're so varied, it's hard to say something specific.
That's absolutely fair. Why don't you check out this one here in the north and tell me if any of it looks interesting to you. So you go to the north, and where is my table? Okay, so just roll a D100, please.
Okay.
And do that 3 times.
Okay, so 88, 99, wow, and 78.
All right, so let's see what we got. You have another instant shelter.
On brand.
Right? And then an image projector. And then we have, a magnetic attack drill.
Oh, jeez.
So, if you're looking for something that makes you feel safer, that might be the one. A magnetic attack drill. The user throws this cipher at a target within short range, and it drills into the target for 1 round, inflicting damage equal to the cipher level. If the target is made of metal or wearing metal, such as armor, the attack is eased. So this might help out if you're on the road and, say, a pesky Sesky shows up and tries to eat you, or a Juraskar comes up. Maybe you get lucky, hit it in the leg, and stop it from running. Because you know how it is when you get hit in the knee. I mean, that's rough. It's hard to run when that happens.
Might have happened once or twice. Tell me about this image projector. How do you choose the image it projects?
Well, let's see. Projects one of the following images in the area described for 1 hour. So, scenes include movement, sound, and smell. So, yeah, I mean, if you look at what this is, and the image projector is a small square that has like 4 little legs, 1 in each corner, that looks like you just stick it in the ground and then it projects whatever, but it has a little knob on the side, and Hamish takes it and they pull it out, and they show you, see this, you just put it to your temple and then you think of the image, and then it projects it.
How much?
How much? How much? How dare you?
It's like asking a name.
Oh, gods, I hate that.
Railu's less of a throw something that's going to bore into your skin person and more of a, hey, let me run away person.
Fair enough. Okay, so roll a D100 for me real quick.
24.
All right, so that's going to put the cipher at about 40 shins.
Yeah, that's going to be way out of my price range. All right, well, are you here every insert day of the year here?
Yeah, I'm here as long as It's not snowing. I don't like snow, so I stay inside. But I'm here most days.
Does this market happen every day?
Well, yeah, every day.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And I will go find my new people because I have 5 shins.
Oh, fair enough.
I have good social skills. I don't think I have 35 less shins social skills.
Yeah, ciphers in this area range between, all over the world, range between 20 and 100 shins.
Gotcha.
You have an idea. And artifacts range between 50 and 5,000 shins. And don't forget your anine is worth between 1 and 200 shins, and you do have that extra one. So that's something for y'all to think about.
Cool.
All right, so you move on, and are y'all just going through, herding Hillian through all the food? What you doing?
Quick meta conversation. So I recognize the name Hamish. Was that from a different game, or are they significant?
They have nothing to do with anything else. They're just a name for this person.
Fantastic.
Which I should write down because I will forget.
And you know we'll come back to them.
Not intentionally, but who knows?
Hamish is going to be the guy in the corner of the bar that we go visit.
Everyone in this town's named Hamish. Because I ain't
a family
creative.
name.
All right.
I think we go into the city. But
Okay.
Anybody else? Anyone else want to do a shopping trip?
I mean, it might be a good idea before we get into the city to try to at least sell that extra anine. Especially because once we get in, I don't know that we'll be able to use the anine anywhere. So it might be worth just selling all of them right now before we try to get up into the trees.
You might want to keep one back for Hillian as a snack.
That's a good point. But I don't know, like, if most of the city is up in the trees, I don't even know where we'll be able to keep it.
Do we see any type of stables?
From outside, no, you don't. But you do see that there are livestock pens out here, and if the whole farmer's market moves inside, it's pretty safe to assume that there are places for these animals to live inside, so they aren't left outside to, lure every Juraskar in the entire woods to the city as they low and bleat and are bathed in the blood of the other ones that are being eaten. I mean, it would be...
Brutal.
Yeah, it's an image I had. Thought I'd share.
Well, there might be stables inside. We can keep one back. Assumedly, unless they send us somewhere else, we are going to get picked up and transported back to where we came.
Right, like we're not going to need these anine. I mean, hopefully we won't need them after this. Once we get a message to the Eon Priesthood to come get us, for however long it takes for us to wait here, after that, we won't need them. Although, since it will take a long time for them to get back out here, they might just send us somewhere directly from here. So I guess let's just sell the one for now, and we'll keep the rest stabled wherever we can find a place to keep them. But that way we have money, because someone just tried to charge me 4 shins for some food for Hillian, and that's my entire, that's all the money I had.
I hope we stay here for a while. These seeds are delicious.
The priesthood really needs to pay us better. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, because right now I have 3 shins total to my name. We need money.
All right, well, let me handle the negotiations. Despite what anybody thinks of how I deal with people, merchants I do know.
You do talk well.
Yeah, if anyone's going to be able to sell something for more than it's actually worth, it's going to be you.
That's the biggest compliment you've ever given me.
Wasn't a compliment, but all right.
Oh my gosh, I love you two so much.
I'm really gonna miss you.
My heart breaks. Okay, so yeah, you walk through and there are just tons of sights and sounds. You actually even see an oddities booth that has just some amazing items that you're just like, you can see that they possibly have uses that a narrator would have no idea how much they can be used outside of the realm of the anticipated, much like an unbreakable scarf that has been used in ways that I had no idea would happen. But anyway, there's this oddities booth that has stuff that is just, brightly colored, flashing lights, calling attention. It's just very, very much, calling to people because it is super cool. And as you pass that, you start to see all of the animals and what have you. But that booth is swarmed with children in front because they're just like drawn to it.
I'm broke as a joke right now, so I'm gonna walk forward at least with the Anine to someone that looks like they may want to buy an Anine.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, about 3 pens down, you see someone who actually has Anines in their pen, and they may be interested in buying.
Are we selling the really, really nice one that you got, Tiyune, or is that one, are you keeping that one and we're just selling a generic Anine?
I mean, we should probably sell whichever one will get us the most money, because all we need them for is travel. So as long as they can run, we don't need anything really fancy.
Cool. We're going to sell the Cadillac of Anine.
Okay.
So so I approach that individual and I just have the one Anine on a tether or whatever you use.
Mm-hmm.
And I approach and I go, "Oh, good morning. I was wondering, I see you have a fine pen of Anine here. We came across an extra while we were traveling in the forest. I was wondering if you'd have any interest."
At that description of how you came across an Anine, just randomly in the forest, the person
We did!
quirks
Yeah, you
their
definitely
eye.
should have said that we don't need it anymore and want to sell it, and not like, hey, we got this Anine for free. Will you give us tons of money for it?
Their right eyebrow quirks up, and they're just like, "Oh, really? That's rare."
Yeah, I have no idea, to be honest with you. I've never had something like. Here's the thing: nobody ever said Railu is smart. They just talk well, but they're not good at. Yeah. Anyway,
What happened to I know merchants?
Aaron doesn't know merchants and started this whole conversation off really badly. Okay, Kelrick won't let me retcon this. I messed up, Aaron.
They start walking around the Anine, and they're like, They reach out and they touch the south. This is some really nice tack for an Anine just loose in the forest. Huh.
Okay, I feel like we took the tack off, yeah? Or no?
That was not stated, and all of them had saddles and stuff, and this was the nicest one.
Oh, okay. That's my fault. Yeah, I did not think that we were going to take this gilded Anine, with a golden saddle.
Oh, it's not. It's just a nice, you specifically said you wanted the one that was the best of them. And
oh, yeah.
So it has all of the nice saddlery and yeah, it's, wow, this is real. Oh.
Well, you know what happens in a forest.
And they look at you. I know some of what happens in the forest. So, what were you thinking for this sweet little thing?
How much would I estimate that this Anine is worth?
You know that they're between 1 and 200, and with the tack included, this one would probably sell for about 350.
Well, that depends on what you're going to do with it. Now, this is a premium bowl of an Anine. If you are going to keep this for your flock, that's one thing. Now, if you resell, way different.
Well, thank you for telling me my business. I'm quite familiar with how sales work, but that's fascinating. So, what were you thinking of getting for this Anine that you found wandering in the forest?
I'm gonna slip into like a merchant camp and just like I know for some reason, Cowrick, I feel like a lot of the people you play are abrasive, or Railu's a very abrasive individual. I'm willing to go both ways. And so I slip into the merchant camp because like it's been a day, and I'm like, all right, so I'll tell you what, I can at the absolute bare minimum part with this for 250, tack included.
Ah, well, then I would recommend you go that way because there might be someone who'd be willing to spend that much. I don't know anyone who would, but yeah, 250 it's just real high for all of this. I personally would be willing to pay 125 for a found anine with such fine tack on it.
Well, the thing is how I acquire my goods, as you said, is of course the business of the one who has it. So I can maybe part with it for 200, and I want to roll a check if you will let me.
Oh, absolutely.
Cool. I'm going to use my where's it at? Oh yeah, okay, so I'm good in all social skills.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I thought I also had something from Silver Tongue, but that might be the all social skills. So yeah, I think that's all I have is the all social skills. I thought that I had something else from Speaks with the Silver Tongue. But...
All right, give it a shot.
And then of course I'm going to use my intellect to give that another raise. And let's see how this goes. So I got 2 raises on this. It's a 5, so it's what'll it pass? A level 4?
It would be. So you rolled a 5.
Yeah.
And that's a level 2.
Mm-hmm.
You are jumping it by
2 raises.
Which that would pass a difficult, giving you a 50-50, but because of the way you came into this, I feel that this particular person would negate one of your bonuses because they know that you found this anime. Like, you came in and you just gave them the information to make them, you gave them a little bit of the power in the negotiation. So I'm going to say that this particular roll, and you can roll every time that the price changes to see how good at you are at negotiating, but I'm going to say that that one is a fail. So...
Is he going to jump up, or...?
Yeah. So they were at 125, and, well, you know, I think I'm looking at this, and I don't see any brand on it, so, I mean, I suppose it could just be a free anime that you just happen to have a really fine saddle to just put on it. I mean, that happens, right? Right. And, I mean, when they're looking at the saddle, you realize what they're doing is they're looking for some sort of ownership mark on this anime that would tell them that it is owned by a specific, you know, person or something that they might know, to see if this is stolen from, or obviously, you know, stolen from somewhere. And why don't you roll, you or Tiyune can roll for having made sure that there is no mark like that, or if there was, you were able to erase it.
Hey, Tiyune, go for it.
Would that be intellect?
It would be intellect or speed, depending on which you prefer to use. Intellect is smart for looking at it and taking care of it. Speed would be dexterous for being able to find it and then, you know, rub it off or make sure it's gone. So either way works.
All right, I'm going to apply some effort because I think she would have applied effort to this. Oh, yeah.
Oh, not only did you find it and remove it, you're able to do something to step in and help with this negotiation if you want. Like, you have recognized that Railu stepped in it very briefly at the start. And you have an opportunity to do something to help. Whatever it is you can think of, you throw it in and it'll help Railu with the negotiation.
Okay. Tiyune basically wants to... Well, the thing is that I want to describe it because I don't know that, I can actually, role-play it. So
Okay.
basically, Tiyune wants to, come in a way that would convince this person that, Tiyune, hired Railu and maybe did, failed on giving them enough information. So they're trying to sell this Anine with, what they think is the case, but she's actually no, this is my Anine, sell it for me. That's what I hired you for.
Oh, yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. So, yeah, you walk in and I think you do this really smoothly, which is super rare for Tiyune to be able to do. Tiyune is abrasive AF, and
she uses that abrasiveness to her advantage in this case.
And particularly with Railu, I mean, it's brutal. But in this case, you're more interested in getting those shins than you are in calling Railu out on, any minor mistake like you normally would. And so you come in and you're pulling Hillian behind you, and you just come up next to Railu and you're just like, so have you managed to sell this for me? I really need to move on to the next couple of stalls, and we don't have all day at this. How is this going?
Railu is going to play this gambit that they did this on purpose, right? This is a con. This is in their mind, or how they're going to play it. This is a con where they come up, they say a thing, and then Tiyune comes in and goes, it's fine, Railu. You can tell them that it's mine. You can tell them that it's mine. You don't have to make up a story like I was fronting for them. Oh, this is a Anine that I found.
Love
so
it.
Tiyune comes in and is like, it's fine. You can tell them that it's mine. And I feel like this farmer's like, who are you? Listen, I'm sorry to lead with the falsehood. My client didn't want their name to be attached to this, but obviously they have decided that this is better. This is... Oh, can I roll for a knowledge check of a noble house around here?
Sure.
That maybe was part of our intellect?
Absolutely.
Our intelligence? Perfect. I'm gonna roll... I don't have anything to add to that, really. I'll spend some more intellect, but I don't have a good thing. Cool. So let's find out if I know any noble houses. Nice. So I rolled a 14 plus step race.
Cool. Yeah, you pick a name of a house. Make a name of a house for here. Go for it.
It's
See?
hard.
Not as easy as you thought.
That's why I come with a list normally.
I was theming it by pork products, so.
So what house do you want to belong to?
Farine selling her Anine.
Oh my goodness.
Brilliant.
This fair lady here is from the Farine family. And of course, you'd understand that she would want to protect her interests.
And their eyes grow slightly large. And can you just describe what Tiyune looks like again? Because I feel like it's been a while, and you've added some descriptors about how Tiyune attaches ciphers and artifacts to their body. And I don't think that was really visually present before, and so I think that this would be something really cool for this Anine Wrangler to see. So what do they see when you walk up?
So Tiyune has very dark skin, and she's got basically a frohawk. So her hair, the sides are shaved, but her hair is, like mine, it's basically an afro. So she's got sort of the frohawk. And her hair is also very bright. It's bright blue and purple. She's got sort of metal bits kind of all over her body. Most of them aren't attached to anything, so they just sort of look like studs, almost like piercings.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of them have been attached, so she does have the one that she used to comprehend the ancient language from
The
Adrenalin.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a Jordamon. So she has like that thing sort of attached to her temple. She's got a couple of other like small things, just like metal bits attached here and there. She also has her like flowing purple cape that is just always in movement. And then her scarf, which she has tied around her waist and around Hillian's waist.
Do you have any weapons showing?
She keeps her weapons sort of hidden, but she has I forget what they're called, but razor discs basically, similar to what Railu has.
What are they, cysts?
Yeah, discs.
Okay, so I feel like at some point, as your cape is flapping and stuff, they see the cysts and they on you, just very briefly, and then they see your overall appearance, and their eyes grow really wide, and they look at Railu and they're like, "I'm sorry, I got distracted. Where were we? What were?" And they're obviously flustered, and they're like, "I think we're at 150 for this fine beasts."
150. I thought you told me you could get me at least 200.
Well, with your namesake, of course, and I will shoot a very darted glance at this person, I'm sure that any fine merchant would love to have your personal Anine for 200.
Well, yeah, 200 is for such a distinguished family. I couldn't. Why don't we just go with your original asking price of 250, and that's perfectly fine. Yeah, and they start to reach their hand out to Tiyune to shake on it, and then they stop, and they very carefully turn to Railu and yes, let's make the deal.
Railu glanced over. Does that sound fair to you, my lady?
Yes, 250 sounds acceptable. Perfectly adequate.
And Railu will shake on it.
Yeah, and you get 250, and I'm sure you remembered to empty all of the settle packs and everything, so you have everything in your list, and they take the Anine off your hands very nervously, and sweat across their brow, and just very, very, very nervous, but also you can tell a little excited. They're like, "Oh, this is very, very cool," and they keep glancing back at Tiyune, and they're just very flustered by this. They're just this is one of the more exciting things that's happened to them, because apparently you have chosen a very prestigious house in Ephremon, and Tiyune, with your 19, you fit the description of the people from this house to a T. This house is known for its nanos and the just strikingness of their people, and yeah, you fit this to a T, and so this person has completely bought in to you being from this house.
Before they leave, then Tiyune will also say, "I hope I can count on your discretion while I'm wandering about. You understand that I don't need rumors going around the city while I'm just trying to have a short vacation."
Of course. No, I will not say a word. And they're looking everywhere but at your eyes. Like they are very flustered, but also, it's excitement, a little bit of fear, a little bit of, celebrity. Like you don't know what's up with this house, but people do not think people from this particular house are playing about anything. And they're just like, "Nope, that's fine. We're in. Sure." So, yeah. So you get your 250. The person has agreed not to talk about you, and off you go, unless you want to sell the other anines or something else.
Does this mean we can get more snacks?
Yeah, the first thing Tiyune does is go back to that booth and buy the snack that was worth 4 shins. Now that she has more than 4 shins in her wallet.
Perfect. I'm assuming you're dividing the money up between all of you, or is this just Tiyune's money, since Tiyune is the one who actually collected this particular anine?
No, I feel like probably between us we'll plan to split it 3 ways, but for now, like Railu and I will hold it because we know what's about to happen with Hillian, and we don't want that money to just like get lost.
Fair.
I want this really sweet scene where like they walk away, they get out of eye shot of, and also this probably is not going to end sweet, but it's going to start sweet. Like they get out of the eye shot of the anine seller, and Railu gets like really excited and starts like jumping up and down. It's like, Tiyune, that was awesome. You came in right when you needed to. That was the good cop, bad cop. I've seen that done before, and like you see the childness in Railu. Like they're not like like 12, but they're still super excited that worked off. Like they're just like jumping up and down a little bit. It's great. They're great.
That's awesome. Does Tiyune have any reaction to that, or are we just moving on? What do you want to do?
Tiyune just sort of very awkwardly shrugs because she was annoyed that Railu needed her to step in, but she also sees how excited they are and doesn't want to just like step on that. So it's just sort of like, yeah, it was great.
So it's a brand new day everywhere, I guess. All right. So you go back, you buy the nuts, then you continue traveling. You've got your 3 anine, and is there anything else you might want to find in this market, or do you just want to head on into the city?
Now that we have some cash, I want to check out that oddity shop.
No. We have to get into the city now.
That's so fair. That interaction literally happens. I'm gonna go check out the oddity shop. No.
We have already spent so much time screwing around. We need to find Geston and figure out a plan, and then you can check out the oddity shop later.
But they have bitter melons.
I got you your snack. Eat your snack.
Okay. You're only okay.
Railu wants to play this, like, okay, so we continue walking, I think, but Railu wants to play this game with Hillian that's like throwing the nuts and seeing if Hillian can catch them.
So Hillian's gonna be walking like through the different forests and just mouth open up.
I feel like this is a game they've played before.
That makes sense.
The challenge is not tripping over a root and taking Tiyune down with Hillian.
Yeah, because that's dangerous for Railu.
Shall I make a speed check?
All right, so y'all make it through the farmer's market. No more purchases. And you honestly got through, because of that 19, you got through that sale super, super quick. Like, normally that haggling goes back and forth. There's talking about the anine's body structure. There's looking at, the saddle some more. There's actually, they have an area in the pen where you can make the anine run so they can check and make sure there's nothing wrong with its legs. No, they just bought it. So you all saved a crap ton of time. You've only actually been in the fair or farmer's market maybe 30 minutes. So y'all are doing just fine on time. You get through, and there's a line of people to get into the gate with several guards. The guards are not, super vigilant. Their job, they're like, you come in, you don't steal, you're fine. And if you do steal, our buddies inside will take care of you. Our job is just to make sure that you don't have anything that's super dangerous on you. Like, I don't know, some piece of Numenera that could transform the entire city into something horrible and deadly. If you don't have that, you're good.
None of us have that.
It's almost like someone came along and saved you from yourselves. Who knew?
I imagine this great scene where the guard is like, "What's that?" and grabs it, and the entire city is transformed.
You would be shocked at how stupid people can be when I roll for them. So, yeah, you all get to the front of the line. The guard asks, so, what brings y'all to Ephremon?
Well, you have great food. It smells wonderful, and, well, yeah.
We're here to speak with Geston, the Aeon priest.
Oh. Okay.
And that.
All right. That sounds fairly reasonable.
Right?
Do you have anything I need to know about on your person? And this quizzical look like, are you going to lie to me? Because if you're we're going to have problems. I'd prefer you not lie to me, so we don't have problems.
Tiyune sort of like looks down at her hands like she's trying to consider it and is like, are like personal weapons okay? Like I just have, and she doesn't want to reach for it, but she'll sort of like move her cape to show the sisk where it's sort of like behind her. And it's like, I'm not trying to start a fight or anything.
Mm-hmm.
I just have my personal protection.
And, you know, this particular guard you notice is kind of dark-skinned. They have a couple of piercings along their right cheek, like 3 bars that are there, and each of them at the bottom part has like a stud that's like flashing a different color. And so...
Are they from House Farine?
Give me a int check.
Oh, what? Say that again?
An int check.
7.
Yeah, so all you can tell is that this is a person who sees your weapon and your bits and bobs hanging off of your head and body and all the studs and stuff, and their eye quirks. They do a little head tilt, and they're like, huh, okay, no, personal weapons are just fine. We're really more interested in any artifacts or ciphers you have. We want to make sure that, you know, you're within the city's limits on these things, because we don't want anything dangerous to happen. So how many ciphers do each of you have at the moment? And this is a legit question they're asking.
I do have my sword that allows me to be healed when used, and I will present that willingly.
Oh, that is a very handsome blade. That's a nice artifact.
Thank you. Is
Note
this...
of that. What were you saying?
Oh, is this permittable in the city?
Absolutely, yes. Do you have any ciphers as well, or is this the only Numenera you have on you?
That is all that I have. Says that more confidently. I was checking my inventory.
Yeah. And they look at Tiyune.
Okay.
We can retcon you gave one to me. I don't have any. If
Yeah.
Tiyune...
You could absolutely hand one off. And as long as they're not on your person, and Railu has one, you're welcome to do so. But the guard looks at you and is like, I'm sorry, but the law is very clear. It's no more than 3 ciphers per person.
That's fine. We could also retcon that I at one point handed one off, because I think that's really just that, like, I didn't realize I had 4 and forgot to do that.
Hillian has room in his inventory for some.
Are you also empty on ciphers?
I have 1 cipher, but we'll get there.
Well, Railu can have my singularity detonation.
Okay.
That's a lot of trust. Oof, okay.
All right.
Tina just had to carry around a Numenera that could have killed everyone in like a several mile radius. She doesn't really want weapons that significant.
That's
Fair.
fair.
All right, I've transferred inventories, so that's taken care of. Okay. And then they look at Hillian and they're like, and you?
Oh yeah, there's this one time that we went into a tree and we fought these big spider things, and one of them I saw it and I grabbed its eye, and Hillian goes into their bag, pulls out the eye, and look.
The guard takes a half step back and then they catch themselves and then they just straighten and they look at it and they're like, That is a mighty fine cipher you have there. Is it the only one?
Yeah.
And they side-eye Tiyune, and they say, is it the only one?
I
It is.
I believe so. As far as I know, it is.
Okay. All right. Well, welcome to Ephremon. That's all that we really are worried about, is that you're not going to bring anything in that's too dangerous. Your ciphers, and they actually write down. They take a note of what the ciphers you have are based on what you tell them, and the singularity detonation thing. Are you going to tell them what that is, or?
I mean, I would show it to them. I don't even know what it is probably very well. Like,
Okay.
all this, and I was like, all right.
Yeah, and so they're going to actually ask you what they all are so that they can write them down in their notes with your names.
I'm going to leave that to Tiyune. Tiyune can describe all those. How Tiyune sees fit.
That makes sense, because Numenera is not a thing that you are good at. So, you're welcome to have Tiyune describe all of it, or you can have Hillian, who is also good at Numenera, just jump in and say what it is. So.
Oh yeah, and you see that switch over there? That little toggly thingy does this awesome thing over there.
Well, that's a mighty big load of words. That's what I'm hearing. So what can these do?
So yeah, Tina will go through hers very quickly and put the mind controlling poison in the center and try to gloss over it as quickly as possible. So the psychic reader, the mind controlling poison, and the personal environmental field, in case I need to hide in a pinch from the iron wind or something.
Okay, I'm sorry, I did not get the name for the other. I just need to know what it does. What is this? And
Oh, this is a visual displacement device. And Hillian holds up the spider eye again. It projects different images of things and allows it confuses people who are in front of me. It's really, really helpful when I'm trying to get away from Juraskar.
If roll in check if you want to distract them enough that y'all can get by, throw them off, and not tell them all the ciphers you have. You're welcome to do that.
That'd probably be good. Is that for Hillian to roll?
Hillian's one who's jumping in and trying to do that, it would seem. So I would say yes.
I'm doing it inadvertently, but I'm applying effort because I'm really distracting.
Yes. I would actually give you an asset as well.
Okay.
I was going to say, does Hillian try to do that, or is that just Hillian?
Oh, Hillian does it. With a 16, you definitely just... The guard is distracted and just wants you gone. They're like, okay, enough with the spider eye. Okay, thank you. Enjoy your time in Ephremon. The gates close and they give you, just before dark. If you're out of the city at dark, the gates will not open. So be prepared to be out there. The general area right outside the gate where everything's cleared is typically fairly safe. You can probably get through the night okay, but I would still set up watches.
What are those?
And Hillian's pointing to the sack, a sack that he has on them, and kind of sniffs the air.
Those smell great.
I'm sorry, sacks? What are you talking about?
I imagine the guard has a pouch with a snack in it.
The guard has snacks on them.
Yep.
While on duty.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Sure. Yeah. They have different flavored nuts than you do from the same stall. What do you know? Apparently, they love that stall.
Those look so good.
And Hillian doesn't see them; he just sees the stack, and the sack, and it's like,
"Excuse me?
Yes.
Can I try one?"
Yes, the stall is over that way, and they sell these. talk to Marion. Next.
Flashback to an hour or two later where like two guards are going on duty and one of them's like, hey Gerald, you know those nuts are contraband. Someone's like, it won't come up.
Yeah, we'll go back to the stall later, Hillian. Thank you for your time. We're headed inside. You've got your own snacks right now. You don't need more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you get inside, and it's, as I said, now you can see it's a huge city in here that is like nothing you've ever seen before. Yeah, super fun. I'm excited that we are now at the point where, we are past traveling and you all are moving into what's going to happen in the city of Ephremon. So, good job, everyone. This was really fun for me. I'm sorry that we went late, but I really was enjoying this new interaction for you all. So, I'm Kelrick. I am the narrator for this story. I'm really enjoying it. I love everyone on the show, and I'm really looking forward to what comes next. You can find me on Twitter at Cormallon, that's CORMALLON, and at EQ Points. I monitor both of those.
I am Jess. You can find me on Twitter at WriteJessR, WRITEJESSR, and you can find all of the various podcasts and streams and all the things that I do on my website, writejess.com, WRITEJESS.com.
Hey, I'm Aaron. You can find me at Space Persona on Twitter and hopefully at Geek Girl Con this November. We'll see.
Hi, my name is Kenny. You can find me on Twitter at PunderDrone. I also DM our Starfinder game that we stream every other Saturday on Twitch. If you want to find out what our streaming schedule is, please follow us on Twitter at EQ Points.
And thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you next time as the adventure in the city of Ephremon starts to take shape. Bye!
Thank you so much for listening to Qmenera, an Experience Points podcast. Are your ears burning for another podcast? We cannot recommend enough checking out our sister podcast, Roll to Fail. There are 6 friends who have no business behind the mic, or even rolling dice. If you like what we create, then you should check out our other 2 podcasts on our network. The original Experience Points podcast is a Starfinder game that releases every Wednesday. Stay up to date on all 3 Experience Points Network podcasts at EQ Points on Twitter and on experiencepoints.com. Pardon our dust as I continue updates on the website. Thank you so much for listening.
LGBT and D uses an entirely LGBT cast to tell stories using the Masks, a new generation TTRPG system. Their episodes come out weekly on Fridays and feature a mix of serious issues as well as lighthearted fun to try and tell diverse stories with a variety of viewpoints. If you like teen superheroes, LGBT plus representation, and bad puns, give them a listen. They can be found on all your favorite podcatchers as well as on Twitter at LGBTDpod.